I just hate people that try to tell you stuff they don't know what they're talking about. It's a 30-foot wide community ditch where this was, and there's, and there's, you're allowed to walk on either side of the ditch. And he says that you're not allowed to go back there and look at where he's burned. I says, but that's baloney. I says, I've got 2 pieces of farm ground off of that ditch, and we're going to go back. I'll drive through my stuff. We're going to go back, and I'm going to show you. And I showed him the tree that they tried to burn down. And he says, well, he says, what else did he say that didn't matter? Oh, the first time, I also got another problem with too. And I know I'm fairly knowledgeable about stuff. I'm a journeyman millwright. I have been since 1976. Most people don't know what a millwright is, but they, we do the electrical and the plumbing and everything. And this man, they live in a mobile. They don't live in it. They have a mobile home. They drilled an illegal irrigation well, a large well, and they're running it. I rent a piece from a lady, and it has an electrical drop. Well, the electrical drop, they're running extension cords from this to another trailer on somebody else's property, and then on over to his trailer. And they've got like 400 to 600 extension cords together, and they've got an armor clad piece of stuff that's not rated for exterior use, and they're running the pump off of that, and they're running all this stuff through uh, uh, Bermuda and Johnson grass and stuff. And I've sent a thing to the electric company, and they cut it off, and then they come back, they cry, and they get it back on. Well, he said that they couldn't do anything about that. I said, well, all right. He says, he tells me, he says, the only time that we have anything to do with mobile homes or houses is after they burn to the ground. I thought, well, that doesn't sound to me.
Commissioners, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's been 5 minutes.
You could close it up, sir.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll try to, and I was gonna bring a bunch of photos, but the Walmart stuff, they're, the one place they didn't have stuff and the other one wasn't working. I'll bring them next month or send them to y'all. And they had sent, I was supposed to have a meeting at 11 o'clock with the gentleman, right? Well, here's a thing from 8:39. Yeah, it's 8:39 that we have looked into your concerns and found no wrongdoing. I have attached all my deputies to this email for first review. In other words, my feeling of that is, you know what, when this chemical calls up or whatever, just blow him off. That's my opinion. I'm not and I had to go around with this guy on what is arson. No, I know it isn't arson. I said, my understanding is this: if I've got a neighbor that starts a fire with a lighter or something, and it goes over and sparks up with the mines, that's arson. Exactly what it says. In the penal code, if it's a controlled burn that goes to them somebody else's property, it goes from an ag burn with a permit to reckless arson like that, and there's nothing in between. I know that for a fact. That's all I have to say. I appreciate your stuff, and I'll bring some stuff, but I think I have a problem there. And he also went out there, and they had demoed a house, and I said, well, look at that. I said, this is where they burn. I said, there's plastic burned there, and this is on the upwind side of all their pile of junk. Maybe it'll catch on fire. I think their supposition, so they get rid of the problem. But there's plastic there, there's beer bottles there, there's beer cans there, there's drywall there. I just thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Item S for consent agenda. Commissioners, anything you'd like to pull out of consent agenda?
Negative, sir. Motion to approve.
Mr. Kimball, we can come on. You parked up.
No, he's parked out here. Yeah. I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz. Do I have a
Hey,
second?
Rod, question on that. You look at the calls and stuff, you see there's 20 plus calls, and I see some of the fire departments have 0 missed calls.
Mhm.
Is there a reason for the ones that have up to 20, if you look at the opportunity.
I got that report late from dispatch.
No problem. I don't know if there was systemic issues or.
No, I got that late from dispatch. Sorry. Item number 4, I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz,
Second.
second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, regular agenda. Discuss and take action on financial audit by SBNG.
Good afternoon, everyone.
You guys doing?
Another great year, another great audit. I want to take the opportunity to thank Chief Sparza, Mariana, and their team. They've done a great job supporting us to get all the needed information for this audit to be carried out. And we have successfully up to this point where we are going to present the report.
Can you guys hear us?
No, you gotta speak up.
Just need to get closer.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. Alrighty, sounds good. So it was this year, just as last year, myself and Teo Cabrera, my name is Jimmy Villa. We both worked on this audit last year as well.
If I may, I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Um,
No, it's because I put it so that they can share it, but I don't think you have it on multi-screen or sharing.
yeah, that was us. I was asking Joe if we had.
Maybe perhaps some- For community meetings. Chapman's not there yet. Yeah. He gets mad when I say that, man. Beep, beep. Don't be talking about that.
You have no.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Expensive.
Neither one.
Oh, there you go.
Is that Sudan cut?
No, it's grass out of Arizona. Marijuana is cheaper.
Same.
If we lost our monitors up here. There you go.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
You'll have a copy of the report, the full report? Okay, sounds good. All right, so I was just saying, it was Teo Cabrera, audit shareholder, and myself, Jimmy Villa, audit supervisor. We'll first go over the audit highlights. This is portrayed in the financial report and page 14. This is pretty much the audit opinion. For this year, just as in other years, we're presenting an unmodified opinion, which is it's a clean opinion of the report. We don't have anything that's not presented fairly in all material respects. So everything is good and in accordance with the appropriate standards. We did not identify any instances of fraud or waste or abuse reported. So we don't have any of that. We do have one finding on internal controls. It's a significant deficiency, and we have some recommendations for it. It's a repeat finding with modification. So it's pretty much what we had in the last year.
Was that equipment or?
Correct. Yes, this is the finding related to equipment. Okay, we'll get into that towards the end of the presentations. Yeah, we obtained, like I said, everything. The basis for an opinion is that we obtain sufficient evidence and appropriate to support this clean opinion of the report. So we're glad to present with a clean opinion again this year. All right, and then we're gonna move into the financial highlights of the statement of net position. As you can see, we normally present a comparative format for these type of figures. The first one we want to pay attention to, it's a cash. This statement is in page 17 of the report, just in case you want to take a look at it. The main big increase in here in this slide is in cash. The increase in cash was mainly driven by generating net income. On average, for the past 3 years, we've been generating about 3.4 to 4 million of net income. So that is what is driving mainly the change on cash. All right. We are at a really good cash position because we have enough to cover for about 3 months of operating expenses. A rule of thumb is that you need to have at least cash enough to cover 3 months of worth of operating expenses. In this case, your operating expenses for those 3 months are about 1.7 million. So we are at a really good cash position. Something I want to mention about cash is that since we have a significant amount of cash on hand, it'll be good to consider having some of it put into a money market account. Right now, I mean, money market accounts are generating about 3 to 4% in interest. So that'll be something good to consider. I mean, you're gonna see in the next slide that we're not generating like a whole lot of interest right now. So it'll be something good to consider for next fiscal year. Since we have enough cash already. One of the other items I want to point out too is the PP&E account. We're also seeing a significant increase in this account, and this is mainly related to acquisition of transportation equipment through issuance of new notes payable, correct? So we acquired, or the district acquired during the fiscal year, a pumper truck and 2 ladder trucks, which are presented in the non-depreciable capital assets at this point because as of the end of the fiscal year 2023, they weren't still received by the district. So I think we're still waiting on those at this point, the 2 ladder trucks, and those are worth up to like, I believe, 3.8 million or so. So that's pretty much what is driving the change in PP&E. So that's our big increase in there. Plus, we have some building improvements, almost $1 million were put into the construction of the Montana Vista Station number 1. So that's pretty much what's driving the change here. In the next slide, here I can show you the long-term debt, pretty much the increase of 34%, which is driven by the two notes payable that were issued during fiscal year 2023. Those are the most significant items as far as the statement of net position. We're going to keep going through the statement of activities for the next item. That is page 18 in the report. Okay. I mean, for most of the items, we had a fair increase. For property taxes, we can see an increase of 8% when compared to the previous year. Sales taxes, we were a little bit lower on that. We had a 5% increase for those. For fees, we're seeing that we have a decrease over the last 3 years, right? So in 2021, we had the vaccination program at the Tornillo for the COVID-19. So we had pretty good amount of fees related to that program, right? Then 2022 decreased a little bit to $400,000, and then we're down 23% from the previous year figure. I do want to mention that we could consider maybe devoting a little more resources for that particular program of the inspections. Just keeping an eye to new construction, projects out there. I guess that's something to consider there, so that we don't keep seeing a decrease, and there's probably opportunity as far as the charges for services and fees. So that's kind of like what we're seeing right now.
And these are fees that we, our income.
Yeah, the fees for inspections.
New construction.
Construction. Fire marshal, exactly. So this is maybe an area of opportunity for the district. That's kind of like what we're seeing right now, especially because we have the new, we also have the new stipend program, which is, its main purpose is to retain, attract new volunteer firefighters. And we believe that it is something feasible. I mean, based on the amount of net income that you all are generating on a yearly basis, we think that you're being able, with that net income, you're being able to purchase significant amount of capital assets and, other expenditures, whether it is through issuance of debt or just through cash purchase. So we do believe it's an area of an opportunity for the district, those fees, to increase those fees. As you can see in the interest, as I was mentioning to you before, we're only generating, I mean, a little bit over $1,000 right now. So it is a great opportunity for you at this point because you have a lot of cash to generate, more interest income from the money market account.
You said that one, we should wait till next fiscal year?
No, I mean, in reality,
This was.
yeah, this fiscal year. In reality, it's just as simply as, I believe you guys have a money market account already. So it's pretty much transferring money over to this money market account.
Okay.
Because right now it's paying like really good interest rate. And I mean, instead of seeing $1,000, we could be generating almost 100 times that, probably, something
You say
like
we have a
that.
money market account?
We do have commissioners, but it's with Chase and the interest rate is like 0.01. It's very low. So it needs to be on a different money market account. But they're offering like a 3%, 4% interest.
You'd have to get an account where you, the district, would be kind of going into a pool to lend the money to an organization that then we're gonna gain interest off of it. That's what he's talking about.
The other. And the least that I've seen is like a 2% on those. And some of the local banks, just to name a few, let's say, for example, Westar Bank. Is a lot more.
Yeah.
It's a timing thing, not gonna last forever. But I would recommend that you guys, maybe speak to at least 2 or 3 different sources of banking. And just see if you can get a better. It doesn't have to be textbook or text class.
Again, I think you said last year, this is something you can't recommend, right?
I have recommended it a couple of times.
No. Where we market our money.
Uh,
No.
yeah, I mean, I can give you those pointers, but like you all asked missionaries.
No, I understand. Okay.
I think any of those choices would be better.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I think that that covers pretty much the most important points of the statement of activities on page 18. Okay, hold on. Very good. This is just it's again the statement of activities, but it's the governmental funds. Here we're pretty much just seeing the amount of operating expenses that we have, that we had a slight increase of 4%, although we paid a little bit less of interest. We had some debt issuance costs for this year related to the issuance of the 2 notes payable. And in general, we have a total increase of 5% in total expenses, which is it's fairly consistent and comparable with the previous year based on the activity, since the activity increased a little bit.
Staying closer to 8%, I think. Last. 5%.
Yeah, it's fairly consistent with the previous year, although we may see an increase in the following year for some of these items. It just depends, but we don't anticipate anything like bigger than, I would say, 5 to 10%. 10% would be like double, but I think we are at a good change in here. Okay. So this is for the general fund. You can see the revenues here. Some important items here in the general fund, page 21 of the report. It's probably gonna be the capital expenditures, as I was mentioning in the beginning. We did significant additions of capital assets, and you can see the increase in the percentage. It increased almost 300%, obviously, from the previous year, since we didn't have a lot going on as far as capital additions in 2022. 2021 was pretty big because we had that ARPA funds in that year. So that's kind of like the trend going from 2021 all the way to 2023. We can also see debt, principal and interest payments falling a little bit from the previous year, although we may see an increase in fiscal year 24. This is because we have the new notes and we have payments due during the fiscal year 2024. So we may see very similar figures in 2024 to what's in 2022, right? So that's kind of like, those are like the main highlights there. We do see that your expenditures exceeded your revenues, although you had the other financing sources, which is the notes payable. That kind of offsets the loss per se in that area. So in reality, you have an increase of about, what is it, like about 1.9 million, almost 2 million in the general fund. So that's a pretty good figure too. And then we have some key ratios here. We do see increases, slight increase in the number of calls. Along with that, we see a total expense per call increasing a little bit from the previous year, as well as the operating expense per call, a slight increase in there as well. So I think we're managing our operating expenses appropriately. One of the important ratios here would be the last one here in the list, which is the debt service ratio. What the 2.6 is telling us is that with the amount of income that we're generating after operating expenses, we're able to pay our debt service to almost like 2.5 times. So that means we have enough cash inflow to keep paying our debt, right? So we're at a good debt service ratio. We do recommend keeping it above the 2.0 mark. That's I would say I guess a healthy ratio, but that we can consider a healthy ratio. And what we've seen so far is that from the previous year, it got a little bit better. We were at 2.37. Now we are at 2.60. So that's a pretty good number there. Any questions up to this point? Okay. Okay. Our last item in the presentation is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the finding. This is related to the previous year finding for the equipment. This one is described on page 64 of the audit report. The name of the finding is just equipment inventory policy not fully implemented. It's a repeat with modification, as I mentioned. What we notice is that it's gotten a lot better than in the previous years, meaning that we have a better control system to safeguard most of our assets. So that's pretty good. As a matter of fact, we only had 1 out of 25 instances in which we couldn't trace one of the items back to the listing of the inventory. And this was mainly attributed to the asset not having an asset tag number, pretty much. So we had an asset tag number on the listing, but it was not on the asset. So the asset was on the floor, but it didn't have an asset tag number. According to the policy, the inventory policy that we have in district, we must verify new items against the purchase order, tag them, and arrange delivery to requested location. So, I mean, the recommendation here is could be fairly simple, but at the same time, it could be time consuming. because it's about providing maybe training sessions on the inventory policy. This would kind of ensure that most personnel managing equipment are knowledgeable of the requirements in maintaining and safeguarding the equipment from receipt to disposal. So that's kind of like a recommendation. I mean, it's just to follow the district's property receipt and disposal procedures. We need to label every item as we're saying in our policy, and then with respect to obsolete items, we need to keep retiring these items from our listing to keep a more complete and accurate listing.
Is the little more time down here we have, every year we have new things that come in, things that become obsolete. And then we have things that are being kept, in the warehouse, but they're not all being kept. When we're doing our inventory, it always happens that, let's say, for example, this year we selected air tag. We saw the air tag. Only have comfortable with the lighter. The airbags are we're still running into that issue. So it needs to be done in the month to make sure that whatever is in the always. One recommendation is to make sure the tax rate are standing and that's on the progress. So basically, until we're able to do the step down and stuff. So it could be a matter of bad luck, but it's also.
Correct. We do have other couple recommendations.
If I may, Commissioners, it's unfortunate, the items that were looked at is the old obsolete air packs, which were being accounted for. All air packs are accounted for. There was, I believe, 3 or 5 that didn't have a tag.
There were 5 items in there.
Right, 5 of them that didn't have a tag, but all the number matched the inventory list. However, that's what they look for. All new air packs, all new equipment is not only tagged, it's also engraved with their number. So this has been addressed about 2 to 3 years ago. So all the equipment that they looked at was the old obsolete equipment.
Yes, and I mean, the report includes the corrective action plan, which also includes what Chief Sparza is telling us right now. So hopefully next year we don't run into any other issues. Like Tayo is saying, it may be a matter of luck, but hopefully we get a fairly clean listing of new items or items that are not obsolete. That way we can get rid of this finding. But we cannot assure anything.
You talk about inventory, you talk about cyclic inventories or
Sorry, sir,
you talk about cyclic inventories or you say inventories?
yeah, so what we do is we get the listing and then we select the items there. We try to focus mainly on high value items, but we also select some lower value items. And usually it's in the lower value items that we have the inconsistencies. I think we came up with the finding maybe 3 years ago. And back then we had 8 items that were not consistent, and then there was only 3. And then this year we're down to just 1 item that didn't came out right. And again, it's just a matter of keeping updating the list of all things. The cycle counts, they need to be done internally by the district, because that's really the only way of making sure that the policy is functioning. So we can tell there's an improvement, but again, we still keep running into issues in the test to make sure that we're addressing those older items in the list. They don't need to be in the list, and they need to be disclosed. Then every year, as the items become obsolete, they just dispose. So that's not like an option.
This also it would impact the financial statement figures, right? Because although we're presented a net of amortization, they're still in there. And if they don't need to be there at all, it's better just to get them out of there, dispose them off the books, pretty much. Get rid of the cost from the books and get rid of the accumulated depreciation, pretty much. So just make your list bigger.
Yes, sir.
We do have other couple recommendations. These are not related to any significant deficiencies or anything like that. It's regarding the internal reserves policy that you all have been discussing. It's just that it's on discussion right now. So one of our recommendations is to formally adopt the internal reserves policy, whether it is through a board resolution or an ordinance. So that's another recommendation there. Because they cannot be classified as committed funds, I believe it is, right?
Right, so to give you some background, the intent is to show to the county that you have formal monies that are being set aside for, one of the intent is to have a minimum cash reserve. The other intent is to have a reserve for capital expenses that are going to come in the future. And then there's a possible third reserve that is going to be there to help cover the cost of the increase in payroll. Whether it's increase in personnel or salary adjustments or whatever. So, there's been discussions, we've talked about it, I've talked about it as well a couple of times. And the last that was done formally is that the commission was approved to adopt the recommendation that we provided. However, in looking at the audit, the accounting policy has not been approved in writing. As a matter of fact, the accounting manual hasn't been updated itself. So in order for you all to be able to put those reserves as earmarked funds in your audit, which is ultimately the intent, a formal policy needs to be adopted, and the intention of the commission needs to be reflected either through an ordinance or at least through a formal adoption of policy. So when we last talked, and I think it was probably in March of last year, the recommendation was giving the green light to tender. And I think the accounts were established in the accounting system. However, there's no update to the manual. There's not a formal action other than to say, yeah, we're going to adopt it. But there hasn't been a policy put in this letterhead, and the change hasn't been adopted in the accounting. So we need to make sure that we complete those steps in order for the auditors to be able to say, yeah, let's switch those over. So that's.
And this manual, you said it hasn't been,
The accounting manual, no, it hasn't really been updated. So there's been policies that have been set aside over the years, but the actual accounting manual, where you have your accounting procedures, it goes back to. That's.
okay.
Again, nothing really, a lot of things don't have to change, but this is one of the things that have to get into it.
In other words, update.
We'll put it on the agenda for next month, commissioners,
Update.
Right.
just to update it.
And the key buzzword is highest level of decision making for the district, which would be the commissioners. They need to reflect their intention of having those funds set aside. So in other words, those funds can only be spent with your formal action, either through a budget line item, or through your explicit approval that you're going to release funds from the reserve.
Out of the reserve.
Right, and that leads the accounting policy. And then for any actions to use those funds to be brought up to your attention, and then ask you all decide to disperse those funds, that we would have to. And in that way, they can be shown in your audit as truly restricted funds. Right now, they're still shown as unassigned funds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one more recommendation, and we already are working in the district, but with longevity pay, we need to make sure longevity pay is being included in the calculation of overtime for those employees that receive longevity pays. The impact on the budget is minimal. We're talking a few cents per paycheck. However, the district is in the process of working with us and also with Condoms, HR. Consider out this adjustment, started going back to when the longevity program was started, and then keep doing it. We don't think it's going to be a significant impact. Basically, in a nutshell, if the longevity pay had to be divided by the hours worked, then whatever those fees stand today, they need to be applied. I'm talking a few dollars, 50 cents per paycheck. But nonetheless, following Mr. Condo's recommendation, it is important that to avoid any issues with any kind of audit. And again, that goes a little bit beyond our audit. Our audit is more focused Not necessarily on the payroll and the compliance, it's a little more focused on the expense and the budget, on whether the numbers are showing or not. That's really what the action. However, this recommendation listens for is that in the process of taking place. It's not a finding because of the small amount that it entails.
Mhm.
So do you think it's alarming? The numbers.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks.
Item number 5, Commissioners, discuss and take action on financial audit by SPNG. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
It's in the audit out. They send it out.
A motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glenn,
Aye.
motion carries.
To the
To-
county,
No,
it's in the,
Mariana put it on Dropbox, no?
we don't have.
I think it's just a presentation. I can put the whole 70, 80 pages into Dropbox.
We don't have Dropbox.
I have Dropbox.
Yes, okay.
You can email it to them.
I can email
Email.
it to you, yeah. Yes. Thank you, gentlemen, for your help.
Good brief.
Thank you,
everyone.
Hey, good brief.
Thank you very much.
Item number 6, discuss and take action on standardizing all medical supplies district-wide to meet the DSHS requirements submitted by Commissioner Avalos.
Good evening, Commissioners. So about a month ago, Chief Esparza and I met with Chief Marquez, Chief Reyes, and Chief Sariana at the Socorro Station. And we had a discussion regarding recruiting, and we'll get to that one in 7. But one of the things that came up was the standardizing all the medical supply bags in the district. All chiefs were, all 3 of them were on board with the idea. 2 of them are here present tonight if they want to say anything about that. But all of them were okay with it. And the idea was between paid staff and volunteer staff that if ever they needed to help each other out or they needed to go into one another's vehicle or use the bags, everything is uniform. They know where everything is. And this is the first step to eventually what we would like to do is to be able to have one person order medical supplies. We're not there yet, and this is not what that's doing. But this is a first step there. And at that meeting, Chief Sariana was supposed to be meeting with Chief Esparza to come up with a plan to do that for fidelity to the stations. But for tonight, this would just be the bags that are carried on the trucks to make sure that they're all uniform across the district. If ever they need to use each other's vehicles, they know where everything is and there's no confusion. So that's what this is about. That's how it took place. And those were the volunteer chiefs who, at least at that meeting, gave us a thumbs up with the idea.
Commissioners, if I may.
Yes.
This is not only to kind of standardize everything district-wide. This is a Texas Department of Health and Human Services that require us to have a standardized set of equipment that everybody that does medical care for the ESD does. And currently we have different departments using way different things that when we get to one call, we might not even know how to use it because it's totally different. This is going to standardize everything that nobody would be able to purchase other than what's on the list. So that when DSHS does our audit, because it's coming up for the audit, we pass again and they say it's good. They've given us minor things because we have different items. Because what they do is they do a sample. They go truck the 901. They'll pull out my bag and see what I have, and then they'll go to pumper 301 and see what they have. We must be matching. That's what we're gonna try to accomplish.
Is this not looking to lead into consolidation? This is only standardization, right?
Standardization. And there's gonna be items deleted because it might not be something that everybody is gonna use. I mean, we have departments using equipment that's way, way more expensive than others. And it's not something we really need here. But it is gonna be standardized district-wide. And of course, they're what do we call them? People that oversee the medical supplies for your departments. Medical coordinators for each department will get together and come up with these rules with Chief Sariana to come up with it and go from there. But what,
Point of discussion a few years back, right?
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
This is a point of discussion a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that came up, just regards to some of the discrepancies in items that are purchased and how big of a difference it can be, is just something as simple as a stethoscope that they use. We have some departments that will spend $500 or $600 because they want it digital and they want all the whistles and stuff that go with it, versus other people who are using a $40, $50 one that works just as accurately. So this is also to help streamline some of that. But more importantly, for the inspections, make sure we're all one team, one goal. But also it'll help cut some of that, some of the stuff that doesn't need to be, we don't need to be spending that much money on a device like that, in other words.
Definitely, we have to do that. A motion to approve to get this moving with the chiefs and you, Chief Esparza?
A motion by Commissioner Santana. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't think the policy will be the, whatever they can click out of the supplies list. He's gonna,
Standard.
well, it's the medical protocols are already there. We're just gonna tell them what supplies they can and cannot use.
So there's already a standardized list in our protocol packet that is available on their website. So there's already a list. We're not supposed to be, kind of phasing off that list. And that's what we're talking about, how people are buying stuff that they're not supposed
So
to.
you're trying to reinforce the current list, right?
Yes.
Just
So I've started creating a list to where they go in and order, and they're not allowed to order certain amounts.
Hmm.
So I've started creating the list, but it's a very long list because it's ALS equipment, BLS equipment and stuff like that. So, but let me give you an example. They're gonna buy fluids, IV fluids. We need to come up with a number where they can only purchase 2 or 3 at a time. So that's what I'm creating at this point.
One of the things that we've looked at is again, the amount of Narcan that we order. We order a lot of Narcan and I haven't seen any reports that show that we've used that Narcan. So where is it going?
So.
That's why we're trying to.
So that's what we're trying to figure out, because there's purchases that we've seen for medications that it's to us, they're invasive treatments, and we're not seeing the paperwork, the paper trail behind it.
Hmm.
So that's what we're trying to figure out why. And we're gonna put a control to it, so.
there you go. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Great.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Item number 7, discuss and take action on allowing volunteers to volunteer without a high school diploma. ESD can provide financial assistance for GED classes and English classes as long as they are active in the department. Submitted by Commissioner Avalos.
Good evening, Commissioners. So let me explain how this came about and how we came to this agenda item. Same day, same fire station, same chiefs. The discussion came up. How is it okay for us to take the initiative or to work with you guys to go into the high schools and promote the volunteer side? And what the 3 chiefs came up with instead was a couple of things. One of the things that we discussed, and of course, 2 of the chiefs are here if they would like to input as well, was we have volunteers, or we have people that want to volunteer, but they can't because they don't have a GED. And so one of the things that we came up with was, well, if they're willing to volunteer and give time, then maybe we can pick up the compensation for the GED class. Some of these guys may have made bad choices early on. Maybe things happen in life where they just don't go the way it's planned, and some people just need second opportunities. And so if these guys are willing to give some time up, and we're hurting for volunteers as it is, which we are, then the chiefs kind of thought this is a good way to recruit people. This is a good way to kind of attract people in to see if they'll work with us. The other one in particular, the example we have right now is we have 2 volunteers in the Fabens Fire Department who their English is limited, but they've been volunteering for a year or 2 now consistently. They've given the time, they've given the effort. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but they're struggling with the firefighter one test right now because of the limited English. So one of the things that we came up with that the chiefs thought would be is that we were willing to maybe do some English classes or Inglés Sin Barreras, which is like a program that they use to learn English, to maybe get some of these guys to try to come into the volunteer side. And I don't want to misquote anything that the chief said that day, but there seemed to be far more interest from them on these programs versus directly from the high school at this point. I guess over the years, they've seen people more of this age group wanting to come in, but what limits them is some of them don't have the diploma or GED. And then the bigger population would be some of them are very limited in their ability to speak English. So that's what this agenda item is about. That's how we came to these conclusions. And present at that meeting, again, were the two chiefs here, Chief Reyes and Fabens, and Chief Esparza was present as there. And now with the discussion that was had about how do we help get you guys more recruits in? Of course, other things came up like tablecloths, things to promote the fire departments, all that, which Chief Esparza then let them know that we have all that here. If they need it, we can lend that to them or buy them one. But that was kind of how this agenda item came to be.
Do they offer the test in Spanish?
No.
No, they don't.
So to touch base on that, I did have a young man. He's very eager to learn. He tested for firefighter one his midterm. Unfortunately, his English is not there. I didn't discourage him. I want him to continue to try. We can definitely do that. But the way I see it is we pay for way other classes. Why won't we help this guy succeed? He might be one of the best firemen we have. And he's going to try again. The only reason that I didn't discourage him and allow him, because I know he could have done it, because he does understand the problem, is because the state is not going to cut him a chance on time. And the time is what got him. So I want to help him. I'm encouraging to come here and talk to us and more, because he does speak it, you know what I mean? But I think we need a push, that it's there. Now, just to touch base, the state of Texas did make a change to even the ECA. You do not need to have a high school diploma anymore to have an ECA, because all the rural communities that are hurting, all the volunteer departments that are hurting, this is where they're hurting, and they're allowing you to become an ECA without a high school diploma. I think we should encourage these young people that, like we said, they kind of had a bad, as long as they have a clean criminal history,
Right.
that we can get them going and maybe lead them into a path of fire service.
And how do we start looking for
We just don't tell them no.
a place for GED classes? Where,
Community college has them,
They have probably the most affordable.
community centers have them.
Yes, sir.
Community centers here have them, and most of them are gonna be free. I'm talking about when you have to go test. There's a fee for it, and
Yeah.
some of these guys might not have that money for that fee.
It's
We-
right now it's $125 fee. So what we're talking about is if they can find free classes, maybe we could pick up the tab on the test. If they've been volunteering, if they've been, if the chiefs can say, yeah, you know what, this guy or girl's been consistent, they're working with us, then on our end, let's pick up the tab for them and let's get them that GED. And in the meanwhile, while they're doing that, if we would change the policy, because as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, the chiefs were telling me they can't take people who do not have a diploma or a GED.
Right.
Their hands are tied there.
so that would be mainly the change, so we don't have to.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and then also we would consider or look into, again, helping out with English classes. I don't know, to be quite honest, I don't know what that looks like. I think we would, I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling here tonight, see how you guys felt about it. And then we could look into that. But I know he just mentioned that young man. And then again, I know that I got a phone call and I referred them to Roger because they wanted to know if the Fabens people wanted to know if they could read him the questions in Spanish because he knows them in Spanish. And I said, that doesn't seem right to me, but you need to follow your chain of command. Let Chief Ray know, and then let Chief Esparza know.
They don't do a test conversion in the state of Texas, from English to Spanish?
They used to have one through SFFMA in Spanish. The participation was not there, and they did away with it.
Can we convert a test to Spanish?
But we couldn't get him certified with anything other than us giving up a document that he passed. What we're looking for is the actual paperwork from SFFMA, which is the certifying entity for the volunteer side, to say that he received that through them. That's what we're looking for. I mean, I do sit on the curriculum board now, so I might be able to get them to bring it back, but I don't know it's feasible for 1 or 2 people. But they used to have it.
I think maybe what we could do, because Chief Reyes was telling us that they purchased, Chief Sparsa, correct me if I'm wrong, they purchased the book in Spanish.
In Spanish.
So if maybe here we could pick up the tab and he could use both books to study, like if they need a Spanish book, I guess what I'd like to put here is if we could purchase that instead of the chiefs.
Who provides,
No, go ahead.
who provides the book in Spanish? SFFMA?
No, IFSTA,
Okay.
the actual people that do all the curriculum.
But I just think since we're, we could pick up that tab. I don't know if Chief Reyes paid for it out of pocket or if he used court money, but I think it's something that we could make that expenditure to help our fire departments out.
I think the problem, Commissioner, with that is because I did talk to the young man and the translating from one to the other took him the long time. He was trying to focus in his mind to convert it into the right words. What I told him, I said, you need to stop using the Spanish book and use the English book
Okay.
and take your time.
Yeah.
We're providing the class. It didn't cost us any money. That's what I've been saying. This class is the beautiful thing. You might not succeed right now, but you're going to succeed at the next one. And that's what we want to see out of all our volunteers. And I think this man is going to be successful. Maybe the next go around because he really wants it. And that's what we should be striving to push for the people that truly want it.
This is gonna be like a case by case situation. How much weight does the chiefs have involved?
Well, the chiefs are going to get to pick their own people. All you're going to make the policy, the decision is that, yes, they can have people without a high school diploma as long as they pass their criminal background checks, and then we will help them succeed. That's it.
I think it's at their discrepancy, Commissioner. We need to leave that to them. To decide.
So GED one thing, I mean, get to a GED, but there's certain life challenges that require an individual to get a GED. But if it's academic, the reason they didn't finish high school, if they can't finish high school, how are they gonna finish fire one?
So this young man does have his
We're talking
GED.
exceptional.
This young man does have a GED, but his GED is probably obtained in Spanish because they do offer that.
They do have.
But it's the problem. The state will not cut you a chance on the state exam in Spanish.
They won't what?
They won't cut you a chance in Spanish because there's no Spanish test as of right now. And not only that, like I told him, we are in a predominantly English, even though we're Hispanic, right? And he needs to know how to communicate because now not firefighter is the only one. Now we're going to go ECA, EMT, which is going to get bigger words that he's going to have to understand. So all we're asking is for you to allow for people with no high school diploma to join.
We're talking two different things though. He's talking, with this guy, the exception is no high school diploma, right?
That's the exception. No high school diploma, clean criminal record,
Yeah, put him aside.
and we will cover the,
Just open the door to people with GED to get them a GED? Is that what you're?
if they're volunteering, I think we should. We're gonna pay for their ECA, EMT, paramedic, fire. Why not pay for a $100 test?
What my understanding was from the chiefs that morning was if they have a person who they know that looks, they pass the background check and they want to volunteer and they're volunteering, what they were asking for was leniency to, while they're volunteering, to allow them to attain their GED while they're there, right? Because right now they can't even begin to volunteer without it. So what they were asking for is if we can let a couple of people who want to try and we see them motivated, allow them to attain their GED while they're volunteering. And with the, maybe they can that would be up to the departments for the chiefs to say, yeah, I'm going to give you 12 months to get your GED while you're volunteering here. And on top of that, we'll pay for the test. And that's something we can improve. But that was what they had come up with. They said, we feel this could be a good recruiting tool for us. That's what they said that meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to allow the departments to, I guess, take volunteers without a diploma. And if need be, if they want to, up to the chiefs as well, to help them with their GED classes or even
Testing fees.
English classes too.
Second. Now, do we have to revise a policy for that?
We're gonna add it to the SOGs.
Okay.
Chief, you got anything?
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, discuss and take appropriate action on the new logo for El Paso County ESD number 2 submitted by President Santana.
Well, after these agendas, items. Well, we want to go to this new logo right here. It was our paid firefighters that started talking amongst themselves. They came up with that design. And, I really don't see why not. We're a fire department.
That would replace that one.
It would replace this one. Yes, sir. I think they did
Does
an
that become a
excellent.
patch or does that become also
sorry?
integrated? Does that become integrated to the shoulder sleeves?
Mhm.
again? It's good.
It looks awesome. Yes.
And again, this was asked by our paid staff and they designed it, they created it. This is their vision.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, and I believe the other one's Commissioner Avalos.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden,
Aye.
motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and take appropriate action on switching from emergency reporting to ESO as one account or 7 different accounts submitted by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, if you see on your item number 9, you should see the difference in what the cost would be.
Hey, Rob,
Couple-
we looked at this a couple years ago too, right?
Yes.
Exact Same thing. It was something to do with data transfer. was it?
Yes, so they're forcing us to go to something called, it used to be InFirst, now they're gonna call it National, it's another acronym that I can't even remember.
They got bought out, right?
I'm sorry,
they got
well,
bought-
emergency reporting got bought out by ESO, but they're having to upgrade because of the new federal mandate on reporting. And by that, the prices are going up everywhere. So right now, the only difference is if we go with one standalone emergency reporting, it's gonna cost us 30,005. If we go with 7 different accounts, it's gonna cost us 52,130. And
I thought we could have one account with sub-accounts.
No.
Because I know some of the chiefs wanted their personnel data not floating out there, I guess, right? Was that a concern?
one had a concern. Good.
Distinguish our incidents.
Well, everything is gonna be into one. It's all gonna be under El Paso County ESD number 2. It's no longer gonna be Socorro, but it is gonna be marked 700s, 800s, 500s, 300s, 200s district in the reporting section. But everybody's gonna have access to view all the calls, what's missing, what hasn't been entered, all into one account. That's for $30,005. If we keep separate, it's gonna cost 52,130 to keep them all separate.
Have you ran this by the chief yet? All of them, or just
No.
us here?
No, the last time we talked about it is, as a matter of fact, I did do a trial with I believe it's Chief Adler and, can't remember the other chief. It was you? Sorry. They all tried it, but, so the price is changing drastically, and right now, they gave us 2 years. I said it last year. As a matter of fact, the last safety conference, I had a meeting with ESO there, and they told us 2 years, and I was told, no, it's not gonna happen in 2 years by a chief here in El Paso. And here we are. I'm getting notified that we need to either jump now, or we're gonna be left in the back of the line for our data migration.
That's the big part, is the data.
So for this price right now, all our data and all emergency reporting is gonna be transferred to one account or the separate accounts, but that's the price difference. $30,005 for one, 52,130 for 7.
So what about the employees for each department? Is that gonna be open to everybody or is that?
It's gonna be
still
open to everyone.
uh,
Only the chiefs.
How do we protect that?
Yeah, that's,
I think we should trust our chiefs to not do anything illegal with
So
information.
the system is gonna log who's been viewing what. If you click on somebody's name and and their personal information, it's gonna log who did it.
Cause that was a speed bump last time, right?
Right. And there's no way to segregate each department for their employees.
So the only way is to, for 52,130. Go ahead.
If this is, I guess it's more a question for the volunteer chiefs as well. How many people have access to this at your department, chiefs? Like, how many people would you say can actually view this in your department? Every member can.
So every member is gonna be able to log in, but they don't have the rights to go view into the personnel records.
Right. I was gonna say that the correction is you can have everybody like Montana Vista, which I know. They have rights to go in and do the reports and all that, but they cannot get in and look at the employee files or anything like that.
They won't have
They're
rights to
restricted
edit
from that.
anybody else's. They won't have rights to go click on something else that's not theirs.
That's only limited to like the chief and assistant chief of each fire station. Is that correct, chief? So it would just be a couple of you guys? Yes.
But now with the new system, all you use these guys, Montana Vista can look into Socorro's
Mhm,
and see all their data files.
mhm.
That. And I agree, you got trust our chief, but.
I don't see a problem with
I
it. It's-
understand the chief trying to protect their employees too, There's, I don't want to say bad stuff or, stuff that's not so positive that could be accessed, that's a concern.
I don't understand what could possibly.
I don't think, that there's any- I don't think there's even a way for you to put anything that's not supposed to be in there. Even in the employee file, that's what that employee file is separate. The only thing that's gonna be in there is your name, rank, medical certification, fire certification, your home address and stuff like that. Other than that, there's no disciplinary actions going there.
And we save money. It's one team, one goal, right? That's the whole thing that we're going for, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The only thing is, like I said, I'm there, as a matter of fact, the districts, the district's account is already on the process of being migrated because it's only one. I'm just waiting for your decision to say
So
migrate them all into one or keep them separate.
is this a new system, and maybe you can't answer this,
Last year.
are they able to, like with the infras, we were able to go in and assign it to that person who is, I guess, the IC of that incident. So we were
Everything,
able to do a report and give that, my department or the department, they would know that they have a call pending.
it's, everything's the same because it's technically the same company that owns it. It's just gonna be everybody in the one.
So the chiefs can go in there and make sure the calls are all complete or pull out a report, which ones aren't complete.
The only thing that's gonna be separate is the investigation parts for the fire marshal. Because now we're entering that into the county's law enforcement side of investigations. So, but inspections will all be there. They'll be able to see all our inspections that we do for those buildings. They'll be able to see everything. Pre-plans, if we have pre-plans, everybody will see the pre-plan for all the buildings. It's just one.
So, but you said the fire marshal stuff will be,
Only the investigation separate.
will be.
You can segregate your employees.
Not you.
It won't even be in that, in this software.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's gonna be in the counties, the same one, the sheriff, Paso Police, everybody uses, they all share one.
Okay.
But all fires, everything else, it's gonna be one.
Make a motion to approve,
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos,
Aye.
Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. This will be to merge everyone into one account. Item number 10, discuss and take appropriate action on approving an offer from Wells Fire Department to purchase an old tanker from Montana Vista Tanker 503, VIN number 1FVXJLBB9RL605694. They submitted an interest of $10,000 for that, and that's what we've sold all the old trucks for. Because it's fire departments. You said that if a fire department in Texas wanted it, we could sell it directly to them. Rawls Fire.
He has 1,600 people in his whole town, huh? But I mean, even the judge had to go through gov.deal, right?
Yeah, but that's because it was for personal use.
The standard was everything through,
No, the law does allow for us to sell to another governmental entity, volunteer department in the state of Texas directly, without having to go through all the process. But if it's just gonna be sold to one of public, then it has to go through Gov Deals.
I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
What?
We have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and take appropriate action on opening bids, DO 2024-0207-1, bid MV 2024-0207-1, and WVFD 2024-0207-1, and WVFD 2024-0213-1.
All right, for DO 2024-0207-1. Master Teams. Total $3,499. This a separate company?
Yes, they're individual envelopes and everything. They're separate.
This is from Empire. Estimate.
Is that for the same?
Yes, sir. Sorry, DO 2024-0207-1. This is for Empire. A total of $28,145.
Can you repeat that, Commissioner?
Is that 28,145?
Yes, 28,145.
Thank you.
Okay, we have two bids for MV 2024-0207-1. This is from Master Team. $129,800. Second one. Also for MV 2024-0207-1 by Empire. 200,262.50.
We're looking at the same thing there?
Yes.
That's a huge, yeah, yes. Okay. Third one is, third set of bids, WV 2024-0207-1. This is for Master Team. $66,200. Same, WV 2024-0207-1. Also, from Empire. It's $147,220. Right, and the fourth set of bids. WV 2024-0213-1. Master Team. $41,980. WV 2024-0213-1. It is Empire. $19,485.
You read it? Yes. So DO 2024-0207-1 will be to extend the canopy by the fuel island to cover the fueling station that we just put up. So the water doesn't then land directly on it and start rusting it out like it did the last one. And then Montana Vista 2024-0207-1 will be to redo the kitchen and bathrooms. Yes. Yes. No,
No, they 129,
129.
129,800.
the other
And
one was
fire
200,000,
200.
262. Yes. So everything is written down exactly the way to everyone. And then they have the ability to meet us there and go over everything that they need to go. I mean, it's just different. To go. Well, so he scheduled 3 different meetings with you and canceled all 3 different ones. The last one said his secretary. Once, you met him once and then that is 2024-0207-1. That'll be for a oh, the other one's the painting of all the interior of West Valley.
Correct.
No, that's not the painting. No,
No, what is it for?
I'm sorry. 2024-0213-1. That's the painting of all the interior
Okay.
on West Valley. And the other one. Right. And then the other one is to, West Valley had requested a new office for the training chief because he's on a 8x8 little office. He requested a little bit bigger and then a little conference room for them to have meetings in the back of their current training room.
It's the partition wall and conference room?
Yes.
No, it's
No.
the 66,000, switch it off. Yeah.
This is assuming that they have written down the construction specifics.
Right.
So it's not just the amount that they're charging, it's also that they,
That they hit every single item that we want on the construction to include plans, engineered and, architectural plans for, if need be. He didn't want to last time. He's the one that asked you that we should be providing him that. So,
so make a motion to allow you to review the
and accept
bids
the bidder that meets the requirements.
that meets the requirements.
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana.
Second.
Who was the second?
I was.
Commissioner Diaz is second. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Hi,
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glidden,
I,
motion carries. Item number 12, discussion on the property acquisition policy submitted by Commissioner Barnes.
second,
I'm sorry?
move it to executive.
Okay. El Paso County ESD number 2 is now entering closed meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551-071 to consult with district attorneys concerning all matters identified in the agenda, where the board members seek to advise from their attorney at privileged communication. Today's date is February 20, 2024, and time is 7:22 PM. El Paso County EST number 2 has completed its closed meeting. The date is Tuesday, February 2024, and time is 8:23 PM. Regular agenda, item number 14, take action on a property.
To proceed as deliberated.
A motion to proceed is deliberated by Commissioner Santana,
Second.
second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye, Angie.
Item number 15, discuss and approve the next meeting to take place on Tuesday, March 19, 2024 at 6 PM via web and open to the public in person.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
You'll be here?
Whoa. I'm sorry. I have a motion by Commissioner Santana,
Second by Commissioner Glidden. Mike was just out of play.
second by Commissioner Glidden, Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos, Commissioner Glidden.
Aye.
Motion carries. Adjournment at 8:24 PM.